Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The coffee shop was buzzing with its usual blend of chatter, the clink of cups, and the faint hiss of steaming milk. But Kane Ashby wasn't here for the caffeine. He sat across from Amanda Sinclair, his hands folded tightly together on the table, his expression calculated. Amanda raised a brow, noting his uncharacteristic seriousness. "All right, Kane," Amanda began, her tone cool but curious. "You said you had something important for me. What's this about?" Kane leaned forward, lowering his voice. "I need your expertise. I've been digging into some records tied to Chancellor Industries, and let's just say, I've uncovered some discrepancies. Numbers that don't add up. Transfers that shouldn't exist." Amanda tilted her head, intrigued. "And you want me to?" "Follow the money," Kane said simply. "You're the one person I trust to do this quietly and precisely. If I go poking around, people will assume I've got an agenda, which of course I do. But if you do it, no one will suspect you're working on my behalf." Amanda smirked, her attorney instincts lighting up. "So, you're giving me a new assignment. Track financial ghosts and expose them." Kane nodded. "Exactly. And if you succeed, you might just uncover who's pulling the strings behind the curtain. Someone has been laundering money through shell companies tied to Chancellor. If this comes to light, it could change everything for the business, and for me." Amanda leaned back, considering his words. She wasn't one to shy away from a challenge, but she also knew aligning herself with Kane came with risks. "You do realize this could put me in the crosshairs of some very powerful people?" Kane's smile was grim. "That's why I came to you. You can handle yourself." There was a spark of mutual respect in their exchange. Amanda agreed, sliding her laptop from her bag. "All right, Kane. But you'd better be ready for what I find. Because the truth never stays buried without a reason." Meanwhile, across town, Michael Baldwin was wrapping up a meeting at his office when the door burst open. Phyllis Summers stormed in, her fiery red hair almost as wild as the storm in her eyes. Michael sighed, already bracing himself. "Phyllis," he said, his voice calm measured. "To what do I owe this surprise?" Phyllis slammed her bag onto his desk. "Don't play coy with me, Baldwin. I know exactly what you've been up to. And if you think you can manipulate this situation to your advantage, think again." Michael's brows knit together. "Phyllis, you're going to have to be a little more specific. I'm juggling about 10 situations at once." "Don't give me that lawyer double talk," Phyllis snapped. "I know you've been whispering into Lauren's ear, twisting things, trying to control narratives that don't concern you. And I'm telling you now, back off." Michael rose slowly from his chair, his cool demeanor not cracking. "Phyllis, threatening me isn't exactly the wisest move. Especially when you don't even know what you're accusing me of." "Oh, I know plenty," she retorted, leaning over his desk, her eyes blazing into his. "I know you've been meddling in Chancellor business, nudging things along with Victor, with Jill. And now, somehow, Kane's name is floating around again. If you think you're going to cut me out, you've got another thing coming." Michael chuckled lightly, though his eyes remained sharp. "Phyllis, you always did have a flair for the dramatic. But maybe, just maybe, you should consider that not every move in this town revolves around you." Her lips curled into a dangerous smile. "Oh, but it will if I decide to make it so. You don't want me as an enemy, Michael. Trust me. I can burn down everything you've built, and I won't even break a sweat doing it." Michael didn't flinch, though her words carried weight. He'd known Phyllis long enough to recognize that when she issued a threat, it wasn't empty. Still, he wasn't one to back down either. "You've underestimated me before, Phyllis," he said softly, almost dangerously. "Don't make that mistake again. Because I can assure you, I always play the long game." The room crackled with tension, two seasoned players standing toe-to-toe in a dangerous standoff. Back at the coffee shop, Amanda was already deep into the numbers Kane had provided. Her brows furrowed as she scrolled through the spreadsheets, her sharp mind connecting threads others might have missed. "Interesting," she murmured. "What is it?" Kane asked, leaning over. "These transactions, they're funneled through offshore accounts, but whoever did this wasn't sloppy. They layered it 3, sometimes 4 times, before it looped back stateside. It's not amateur work. Whoever's behind this knows corporate law inside and out. Kane frowned. So, what are you saying? This isn't just a random money grab. Amanda looked up at him, her expression serious.
No.
This feels like strategy. Someone's building a war chest, and they're using Chancellor's shadow funds to do it. Kane's jaw tightened. Which means someone close to the company has been orchestrating this. Jill? Devon? Maybe even Michael? Amanda paused, thinking. Michael Baldwin does have the brains to pull something like this off. And if Phyllis is already circling him, she trailed off, her mind racing with possibilities. Then we're sitting in the middle of a storm that's about to break, Kane finished grimly. At that very moment, Phyllis was marching out of Michael's office, her heels clicking like gunshots on the floor. She'd gotten her point across, but Michael's refusal to be rattled only added fuel to her fire. She pulled out her phone, dialing quickly. "Meet me," she barked into the receiver.
Now.
"We've got moves to make, and trust me, we're going to turn this entire game on its head." Whoever was on the other end gave a brief response, and Phyllis hung up, her eyes narrowing with determination. She wasn't going to let Michael or anyone else box her out. If Kane thought he could use Amanda, if Michael thought he could outmaneuver her, well, they were about to learn the hard way that Phyllis Summers never played second fiddle. The night grew darker, but in Genoa City, the heat was only rising. Kane and Amanda were piecing together a financial conspiracy that reached deeper than either of them had expected. Phyllis was sharpening her knives, ready to carve out her own slice of power. And Michael, ever the strategist, was quietly preparing his countermoves, ready to outlast and outwit anyone who dared to challenge him. It was a chessboard of shifting alliances, whispered threats, and dangerous secrets. And as the first moves played out, one truth became undeniable. By the time this battle was over, reputations would be destroyed, loyalties tested, and the balance of power in Genoa City would never be the same again.